Okay. I've done a few things since the last video. So I came over here and I made a full-scale stone operation here. So I have two mining machines. One has 6 nodes at 180 pieces. One has 7 nodes at 210. And together they can produce 390 pieces of stone per minute, which is more than enough to saturate a belt. And I have this nifty little splitter here. They call it a splitter, but I'm kind of using it in reverse. So I'm feeding 2 lines of stone into it, and 1 line is coming out. So this belt over here that's coming out is saturated, so it's going to be 360 pieces of stone coming out on this belt per minute. And you can see here that it's flowing right at this corner here. It's flowing without interruption. And where did this splitter come from? Well, in the technology tree. You remember how we did logistics to get like the conveyor belt and the sorter and the depot? Well, the next one in the line is upgraded logistics systems, and it has the splitter and it has a Mark II sorter, which is really nice. It's twice as fast as the other sorter, so this one can do 3 trips per second, which is 180 pieces per minute. And then there's this thing that I never use, but apparently it's a flow meter, so it can tell you if like I mentioned earlier, the belt has 360 pieces per minute of stone. Well, I could put this on that belt, and if that dropped to a certain level, this would set off an alarm. But I've never actually used those. How did I get this? Well, it just takes 100 of those cubes. So I made 100 cubes and I researched upgraded logistics. And I also made sure to put these turrets. I'm going to turn on the alarm. Don't forget to do that. And over here, it's already making lots of bricks. Right? And while I'm here, we're just going to grab a stack. I'm going to leave that for now. I also extended our grid, our power grid out here, using these Tesla towers. So I want to show you, I cleaned up, I'm using mostly coal in the fuel chamber right now. So this operation, if you remember, this mining machine is also tapping 6 nodes, 180 pieces per minute. So I added 2 more smelters because I only had 1 smelter here producing 60 ingots per minute. But now, with these 3 smelters, they are drawing exactly 180 raw ore per minute, and they're producing 180 ingots per minute. So we're matching our capacity here. And what it's done is it has it's filled up these depots now with iron ingots, which is very nice. And I've added onto the end here an assembling machine that is creating gears. So it's slowly filling up these depots with gears. And the way I've designed this is it will only make gears if these depots are full of ingots. Because if these depots are not full of ingots, maybe I can demonstrate this. I'm just going to quickly put down a depot here so I can... I've got way too many iron ingots in my inventory, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control and left click on the ingots, and it moves all the iron ingots over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 3 stacks. I'm going to grab the ingots that were in the smelters, and what you're going to see here is that now that this depot is not full, the sorters are going to start up and they're going to pull the ingots off this belt at 180 pieces per minute. So none of the ingots are going to make it through to the assembler, which is what I want. I don't want this assembler making gears if we need ingots. Right? So what would piss me off is if I came over here and there were no ingots, but hey, this thing is making gears that I don't need. Ingots is more important than gears. I don't know if that made sense, but that's what I was doing. And we got so many ingots that I might just leave that bin there for now. I don't want to carry them around. I've added 2 more of these thermal power plants. I put the gauze turrets over there to protect the coal. And I added a storage bin over here to grab some coal, because what I want to do is I want to start using coal in my fuel chamber, because coal lasts longer or works better than wood and plants. The other thing that I did was I scaled down this ammo production. I only have 1 assembler here right now, and I added 2 more smelters. So this is interesting. So this mining machine was covering 6 veins, but 3 of those veins have disappeared already. So now it's only tapping 3, and it's only producing 90 ore per minute. So in full operation, these 3 arc smelters are going to demand 180 ore, and we're only producing 90 per minute. But that's okay, sort of okay, because we have this here buffer. So this storage bin acts like a buffer, and what happens is if I kick in operations here, say I go to this depot and I say I want more magnum ammo, so I'm just gonna free up 2 more spaces here. It's gonna start production again, but we have this buffer of ore, and this buffer can still feed the input line, the input belt, at 180 pieces per minute. We can't operate like this indefinitely. Eventually the buffer will run out, but temporarily this will work. And then over here I added another mining machine specifically for creating these magnets, because we need lots of these magnets. And the magnets we can make, like an arc smelter can create 40 magnets per minute. So 4 of these is producing 160, which is less than 180 ore coming out on the belt. It's pretty close, so that's fine. I would rather have extra ore on the belt here than a starving smelter on the end. So I'm not going to add the 5th smelter. And I've sort of the output belt comes back here. I like to keep things kind of snug because now the gauze turret can still easily protect that, right? So rather than building out, I kept things close by. The other thing that I've done here, which I don't think I mentioned, but you probably already figured out, up here is another tab in the technology tree. So there's upgrades. I've gotten an upgrade already for my mecha core, and I've done a mass construction update, so I can start using blueprints. So I'm just going to show you how we can do that. So in the along the bottom here on the right, kind of, there's a blue book. That's our blueprints. Now I have a whole bunch from previous games, but what you're going to do is you're going to click on the scissor icon in the upper left corner. It's create blueprint, and then you're going to left click and drag. So I've selected the gauze turrets that I've set up here, and then I just click again. Now in the upper right corner, I'm going to give it, I'm going to click on buildings. So in the upper right corner you have this thumbnail that we have to fill in. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click on the buildings tab, and then I'm going to click this gauze turret because that kind of makes sense. And then the thumbnail text, I'm just going to say gauze turrets demo. I don't know. And then I'm going to hit save blueprint, and save, and then escape. So what that allows us to do now is I can click on the blueprint book, scroll down to gauze print demo, and if I click on it, I can kind of click it here, and it's going to build it automatically now. And that's going to become very important. It's saying I'm short a sorter. I'm just going to quickly create a sorter. And then he'll go, as soon as I get the sorter, he finishes the blueprint. And then I can click on this depot and maybe put some ammo in there. And away it goes. Turn the alarms on. Right, this is going to become very important when I'm trying to attack the dark fog. Like, you need to have blueprints. And the other thing, quickly before I end this video, I'm just going to go over here to where I'm making the Magnum ammo, because I want to show you something about Icarus. So I'm going to take 3 stacks of Magnum ammo, and if I hit C for the mecha panel, just below the fuel chamber I have a magazine, and I'm going to hold shift, I'm going to left click on the Magnum ammo, and it goes into Icarus's magazine, and he can now use the Magnum ammo in combat when he's fighting the Dark Fog. Anyways, I think that's enough for this update video.